Hello, Clint here, Crimson Landscape, here to talk about your backyard design. Alrighty, your city has a rule of permeable versus non-permeable, meaning only a certain percentage of your backyard can be solid concrete or paver. Some of it must be non-permeable. Sorry, permeable, so water can absorb into the ground, and you can't have your whole entire property run off into the alley. So we're at the maximum extent of that limit based on this design. So this is pavers in this design. We can do stamped concrete or we can do just regular plain concrete. A regular plain concrete obviously is going to be the most cost effective option. All right, so let me kind of show you what I did. So I come out of the backyard with a symmetrical walk path that comes out. Then I shaped the bed to match the shape of the house so you can see it angles with the house. There'll be a step somewhere in here. I don't know if the step will be here. The step will be further this way. But this is somewhere in this area. There'll be a step down to the main part of your backyard. Somewhere, some way. And the rest of your backyard, we're going to get, for the most part, level. We'll have some slope to it, but not a whole lot of slope. So you can set furniture and tables and everything will set somewhat level. So you can see how we stopped it back here straight across. I think in your particular application, instead of doing a curve back there, since straight is going to be probably the most cost effective and it's going to match the goal of what we're trying to accomplish in your backyard. On the side of the fence over here, I left it roughly 4.5 feet from the fence for a future herb garden or something along those lines over here. So some sort of garden over here. Same thing over here. I left the landscape bed along the house. So there's a landscape bed that'll have plants. I did rose cricabellias here. It's easy to maintain, pretty small. It stays really small. It has flowers on it. Then here, this is daylilies with Yopon holly, then a couple of society garlics. Easy plants to maintain, of course, assuming your sprinkler system is fully functional. Again, like I said, this is a space allocated for a garden of some sort right here. The structure, no change to the structure. Structure will stay in the same place. You can see I added basically 2 additional living spaces. So you have a dining room table here, a couple chairs over here, or you could flip it where the dining room table is over here. Or you can add the dining room table under the shade structure and kind of set furniture however you see fit. I think this is around 800 and some odd square feet, so plenty of stuff will fit. Okay, back here, I just because of the permeable rule and because of the nature of fruit trees and fruit trees just drop stuff that's sticky, I made this wider and added mulch just for easy to maintain, easy to add mulch. You can always come back and add flowers and plants later if you want to make it something a little bit nicer. Then gravel along the back fence to protect the railing. In this design, it shows level. This space would obviously be stepped down till you got to the back fence. It would not be level. This is going to be a step down, probably about an 8-inch step down to this spot. So just bear in mind that this is a step here that's not shown. Then, of course, gravel along the back. We can do gravel or some sort of river rock. As far as the shade structure goes, I would do, like I mentioned, we can run conduit underground before we do the concrete. So conduit from the house over here, over to the structure, and have an electrician wire up a switchable plug or plugs over here for ceiling fans or for these string lights, something like that. Then I always add lights to my design. So lights, of course, are extra. So it's lights along the house, as you can see, if you want lights to turn on. Lights for your trees back there. I know these trees aren't exactly in the same spot where the trees are, but if you end up installing more trees, you can make it more symmetrical with trees back there. But you have this one big bed to do that kind of thing. String lights around the structure. Then if you want to, you can add some lights over here. All right, let me go back to the main design this way that you see it. So you can see it's a nice big patio. So this patio is all about function. So as you can see, you can nice big entertainment space, easy to maintain. And this is going to be probably the more cost-effective options from an installation standpoint. Now the material, if you go with pavers is obviously going to be a more expensive material. If you go with concrete, so let me change it to concrete and let you see it with plain old concrete. So if you went like a plain concrete, that's what they would look like. If you went with an aggregate concrete is the stuff you have on your back porch now, which is going to be, some people call it Rhone River. So that brownish tone. So something like that, you could do that as well if you wanted to match what you have there for brown. Again, concrete is going to be cheapest by far, not even close compared to the pavers. Okay, let me pause here. Let me send this over to you, let you look at this and tell me what you think. Then we can go from there. I appreciate your time. Oh, if you're first time guys checking out one of our videos, you can check us out at crimsonlandscape.com.